What's going on, everyone? It's the Coach Ed Gladney here, bringing you another Full Court Press podcast, another great show, talking to you about women's sports, especially in the WNBA. This is episode 6, so today I'm going to be rocking it solo. My two co-hosts, life gets us, so we have to step in, and we're a team, and I'm a team player, so I'm here ready to, give you the takes and my takes on the WNBA and everything that's going on. So I hope everybody's excited for today's episode. A lot to go over, but before we get into that, if you're new to the show, or everyone, first and foremost, hit that like button for this episode. If you're new to the show, make sure that you subscribe to all three of us: Next Shift Randy, Nick from Sleep Media, and Coach Ed Gladney's Amazing World of Sport, and also subscribe to the Hardcore Sports Network. Make sure you subscribe and hit the notification so you'll know when we post new content. And always share on all your social media platforms. This really helps us out a lot, and we appreciate you guys. So now there's a lot I'm going to be going over. I'm also going to be keeping an eye out on the only game today in the W. That's the Chicago Sky at the New York Liberty. So it's going to be kicking off in a little bit. So I'll try and keep us up to date in reference to that. So, but in reference to what we're going to be talking about today, we're going to be talking about, your basic, the power rankings, weekly scores, and upcoming games. I'm going to talk a little bit about the Rookie of the Year standing. So, that's a hotly contested debate. And we're also going to be diving into a little bit of the Olympics news, just a little bit. Mainly going to go over the schedule and, talk about the upcoming prelim game. That's what we'll call it. But while we get into everything, I'm going to go over the power rankings. Now, I'm looking at the power rankings from both the WNBA and ESPN, and they varied. So the WNBA, I'm going to start in terms of the bottom, and pretty much both of them are pretty much the same when you get down to the bottom. Let's see here. Looking at the ESPN rankings, there is a difference there between the two sites. The ESPN site has the Los Angeles Sparks at number 12, while the WNBA has the Washington Mystics. So that's a big difference there in reference to the two teams. So, but you can debate it, but they're pretty much the same. Now, when you get to 11, the WNBA power rankings have the Los Angeles Sparks at 11, and then they had the ESPN rankings has the Atlanta Dreams at number 11. So that's a big difference right there in between the two. When you get to number 10, they both have the Dallas Wings at number 10. Number 9 and the ESPN has the Washington Mystics, and number 9 on the WNBA has the Atlanta Dreams. So in the end, the four teams are pretty much all the same in terms of the power rankings. So that's pretty much the standard there. I don't see anything wrong with that. That's about right in terms of their play. Tony, thanks for tapping in, man. I really appreciate you, man. Thanks for, tapping in the chat. So, but getting back into the power rankings. So when we scroll up to number 8, all right, in the WNBA as well as the ESPN, they both have the Chicago Sky listed at number 8. So that was a little surprising to me when I thought about it. I would have, thinking about it in terms of the games, I understand, why they're there. But, I kind of thought of, my debate is going to always be Indiana and Chicago. But now in number 7, the WNBA has an Indiana at 7, while ESPN actually has the Phoenix Mercury at 7. At number 6, you have in the ESPN the Indiana Fever, and with the WNBA, it's the Phoenix Mercury. Number 5, you have the Seattle Storm and the WNBA power ranking, as well as the ESPN power ranking. So they're pretty much the same there. Number 4 in the WNBA power ranking, you have the Las Vegas Aces, while the ESPN power ranking has the Minnesota Lynx. So I personally, I'm with the WNBA the ESPN, because Minnesota has been struggling a little bit. So I have them at number 4 in my mind. The Aces, once they got back Chelsea Gray, they just seem to, starting to get into rounding into form, even though, their record may not indicate it. Number 3, you have in the ESPN, you have the Aces at number 3, which I agree with, and WNBA has the Minnesota Lynx. Number 2, you have the Connecticut Sun at number 2, and in the ESPN, they have the Liberty, and at number 1 in the ESPN, you have the Connecticut Sun, and the WNBA has the Liberty at number 1. Now, for me, because the two teams just played, they just played this on Tuesday, and the Liberty came away. Was it Tuesday? No, it was yesterday. The Liberty came away with the win against Connecticut, so that's why I have New York at number 1. If Connecticut won, they would have been the number 1 team. So, but head to head, and New York has won both games so far. So that's why for me, New York is number 1 in terms of the power ranking. So, but again, this is how each sees it. When you sit down and you look at it, they're pretty much on point, pretty much accurate. You can debate, 1 or 2 teams here or there, in terms of now for me, 1 and 2 can no longer be, up for debate. But in terms of 3 and 4, if you want to say the Aces, some will say Minnesota. I get it, but right now to me it's the Aces because they're starting to get on that trend. And then on the back half of the roster, the bottom 4, you can flip flop. They're pretty much all there. So, but again, that's the benefit of this season. I mean, there's a lot going on. There's a lot of great action. And teams are starting to settle in and get prepared for the playoffs. We're having a break coming up, so you'll have your All-Star and then the Olympics, and then teams will get a nice break, sit down, relax, regroup, refresh, and then after the Olympics, you can come back and make a final run towards the latter half of the WNBA season. So, but that's how I see it in terms of the power rankings. New York is number 1 overall, the way they've been performing so far. So, but now we're going to go ahead and talk about the hotly contested WNBA Rookie of the Year. And it's a lot going on with that. There's so many different debates. Some fans will have one player at number 1. Some fans will have number 2, another player at number 2. So, but what do you guys think? Who do you have? Make sure you get into the chat and let me know who you think is number 1, number 2 in terms of Rookie of the Year. So just a quick update. Chicago and New York are tied at 11 with about a little over 5 minutes left in the first quarter. So a lot of action going on right now. Jonquel Jones is going to the line to shoot, looks like 2 free throws. So, but I'm looking at an ESPN in terms of their rankings as far as, who is where. I'm just going to quickly go over them. They have number 7, Rickea Jackson, number 6, Kate Martin, number 5, Leona Phoebish of the New York Liberty. Oh, let me redo this. Sorry about that. Rickea Jackson is of the Los Angeles Sparks. Kate Martin is of the Las Vegas Aces. Leona Phoebish is of the New York Liberty. Camila Cardoza of the Chicago Sky. Aaliyah Edwards of the Washington Mystics. Caitlin Clark of the Indiana Fever is at number 2, and Angel Reese is at number 1 of the Chicago Sky. So, and this is of ESPN. Now, there are others who will flip flop those two. You'll see Angel Reese at 2 and Caitlin at number 1. No, it's not a no brainer, Arku. It really is not. You can make a valid case for each of them. Yes, you're going to have your personal preference, and I get it. That's not a problem. But you can't say it's a no-brainer because you can also make an argument for whichever one. Just like Two Giant Goofball is saying, Clark at 1, Reese at 2, but it's close. So it's a double every game. I understand that, but that's not the only factor. So and again, I'm not making an argument against Angel Reese and for Caitlin Clark or vice versa. To me, that's how close they are. To me, they're literally, it's your preference in some regards, but if you want to go through and you want to look at the totality of their league and all the metrics, they are that close. I mean, with Angel Reese, you can make an argument her shooting is not consistent. I mean, yes, she's getting double doubles every game, but a lot of it is rebounds and she's up close. Caitlin Clark is shooting from deep, as well as, the mid range. So, it's a little bit different in terms of, who do you think is your favorite? And I respect where you're going, Arku. You have Angel Reese, number 1, and that's fine. And you have every right. And, you can make that argument. Yeah, she's a double machine. She's out there every game. She's consistent. She's a dog. I get it. But you can also make the argument for Caitlin Clark. So, and I really appreciate everyone's input in reference to this, so, and personally, like I said, I've gone back and forth. In terms of these two. Far and away, they are the top 2 in my eyes. They really are the top 2s. Now, top 2. Now, Leah Edwards at 3 surprised me on the ESPN ranking. I probably would have thought maybe Rikia. But I could have accepted Camila Cardoza because since she's gotten back, she's starting to get into a rhythm and get comfortable playing in the WNBA. Jackson, sometimes she's starting, sometimes she's not. She's in, she's out. But they go through and they give you a very good breakdown, win share, per wins. There's a Raptor wins. So there's certain metrics that they give you to assist. It says I think she's 49th in scoring in the league. True shooting, she's 46, while Cardoso is 31 in scoring, but her true shooting is at 19. So Leona Febish, that surprised me. I was not expecting that from her, for the Liberty. And I watched the Liberty every game. And when I sat down and I thought about it, it does make sense. I mean, she is having a very good rookie year, but she's also a veteran in terms of the international play. So she's just a rookie in terms of the WNBA. So, but again, it's something that really surprised me. I'm just watching the game right now in terms of the Liberty and the. Okay, so Kate Morton, I think you can make an argument for her to be at number 5, maybe even at number 4 because of the impact that she's had in terms of the Las Vegas Aces. So, and Rikia Jackson, you can actually also move her up. Like I said, heck, you can even say, some regard she's number 3. It wouldn't surprise me. So, but again, 1 and 2, to me, the distance is that far between them. Between them and the number 3, whoever you want to put it, number 3. So, and it's going to be exciting to come down to the wire to watch both of them. Again, Angel Reese, consistent double doubles. Already breaking the record held by Candace Parker, who did it over a 2-season period. She's doing it in 1 season, also as a rookie. So again, it's something that is really impressive to me in terms of her game and what she's bringing to the table. So good fight right there. So, but yeah, I mean, again, Do you guys have any other thoughts? I mean, what about number 3, 4, or 5? Are there any other players that you've been watching other than Angel Reese and Caitlin Clark? Um, in reference to that. And here's another question: do you think their Rookie of the Year candidacy is really a factor of what they've brought to the WNBA from college? Their little battles in college per se, in the national championship, and so on and so forth. You know, can you make an argument that says maybe they're over exaggerating or putting too much emphasis on those two in reference to the Rookie of the Year? Would you agree with that? Personally, I mean, I'm just thinking and I'm saying to myself, is that an argument some will make? Probably. But then again, when I sit down and I look at, well, who's the third best rookie? Who's the fourth best rookie? Are they that close? Then it goes into, no, I don't think so. So, but again, I mean, it's just a thought. It's just conversational information that I'm putting out there. You guys let me know what you think in reference, to your Rookie of the Year candidacy, so far. And again, I'm looking at ESPN's. You have other sites that you look at. Definitely let it be known, and put it in the chat, and we'll talk about it as we go along. So, but that's the overwhelming debate right now. In terms of the Rookie of the Year. And would you say that? How does that make you feel? Are you, because I know one person I was talking to he said that, he's kind of getting tired of hearing about Angel Reese and Angel Reese and Caitlin Clark, and their debate, so on and so forth. He hates the thought that, people say that it's like Magic and Bird just in the women's game. Is that something that you agree with? Me, I don't agree with that thought. I mean, what they're bringing to the WNBA is excitement. It's bringing more fans to the game because that's what this game needs. So and it's a great market. They are great marketing tools to help grow the sport. So and their Rookie of the Year candidacy, and their battle is very interesting. So but in the end, I do think it's going to come down to them and the measuring points. If you said, on a scale of 1 to 10, their points and rating will be, say 1 point differential. It wouldn't surprise me. That's how close I think they are. Number 3 is not even that close to them. So, but it's real interesting. And right now, Chicago is up on New York. 18-17, and it's still in the first quarter, a little bit under 2 minutes. So Chicago has the ball and they're bringing it up right now. So, but there now, the question for me is, who do you really feel would be number 3? In the end, I'm going to be honest. I think it's going to be Carmela Cardozo. I think she's going to continue to get comfortable, and initially, I would have said Cameron Brink, but because she's out with her injury, for the season, that's why she's not there. Now, I was watching one representative she was breaking down the metrics, and she said Cameron Brink's numbers are still high within the league in itself. So, so because her numbers are up there, she would have been a highly contested third player, maybe even pushing for number 2 in the Rookie of the Year candidacy as the season went on. But ultimately, I think it's going to be Carmela Cardozo. She's going to be the one who is going to get that third spot in the Rookie of the Year. Let me take a look at Rickea Jackson's metrics. Yeah, her win share is 0.1 per win, 0.1. Her scoring is at 62, true shooting's at 44. It says she's improving her output in scoring. She's averaging 12.6 since mid-June, recording double-digit points 7 times. So she is building and working and growing her game. So But I was gonna think about her. Kate Martin, while she's a nice story, she's also behind a loaded roster, so I can't expect her to make a strong push. Fiona Phoebish is the same way, being that she plays on New York with a loaded roster. So, ultimately, I think it's going to come down to Camila Cardoza and maybe Aaliyah Edwards, maybe even Rakia Jackson. So, but right now, looking at the game, going to end at the end of the first quarter. Chicago is up 22-19 over New York. So, gutsy game right now between these two. So, and again, this is the only game being played tonight. So, that's why I'll keep an eye on it. And while we're streaming, I'll keep you guys updated if you're not currently watching along with me. So, but yeah, that's pretty much it in terms of that. So I'm going to go ahead and bring up the weekly scores. The games for the rest of the week. So tomorrow, you're going to have Phoenix traveling to face Indiana, 7:30 tip-off on Ion. You also have Las Vegas at Atlanta, also a 7:30 tip-off on Ion. The late game, which seems like a good game, Minnesota at Seattle. 10 o'clock tip-off at Ion. So that's going to be a very interesting game because, again, with the power rankings, where these two teams are listed, whether they're 3 and 5 or 4 and 5, they're pretty close in terms of, where they're listed in terms of the power rankings. So that's going to definitely be a game. And it's going to go well towards the playoff positioning. So, again, that's tomorrow, Friday the 12th. On Saturday, you have New York at Chicago. So they're playing a home and home right now. That's a 1 o'clock tip-off at 8 on ABC. And then at 3:30, you're going to have the Los Angeles Sparks at the Dallas Wings. That's a 3:30 tip-off on CBS. So some good action Saturday in terms of basketball. Sunday, you have 4 games. You're going to have Phoenix at Connecticut on ABC, 1 o'clock tip-off. You're going to have Las Vegas at Washington, 3 o'clock tip-off on CBS Sports Network. 4 o'clock on ESPN, Indiana at Minnesota, and then at 6 o'clock, Atlanta at Seattle. So, most people probably tune into the Indiana, Minnesota, and then, maybe Phoenix and Connecticut if you're not out and about, running around, church, shopping, brunch, whatever, So, but the 4 o'clock game, definitely, I think you're going to get more views in. Again, Caitlin Clark, draws in the views. There's no games on Monday. Then Tuesday, another big game, Connecticut at New York, 7 p.m. on Amazon. Then you have, says 3:30 tip-off, Seattle at Los Angeles. I don't know if that's the actual time or if that's 3:30 p.m. Los Angeles time, which would be 6:30 p.m. on the Eastern Coast. But I'm going to have to take it as it's on the Eastern Standard Time. You'll also have Phoenix at Washington at 11:30 a.m. And then the late game, Chicago is at Las Vegas, 10 o'clock tip-off on Amazon. That'll definitely be a big game right there. Many will tune in to, check out, Angel Reese, another double-double, how she's continuing to do with her double-double. So that, again, will be next Tuesday. And then next Wednesday, Atlanta and Minnesota, 1 o'clock tip-off. And then Indiana at Dallas, 7:30 tip-off Wednesday on ESPN. And nothing left because that'll probably be the end. Yeah, the 17th will be the end before we take the break and get ready for the Olympics run, All-Star run, so on and so forth. So, but right now, they just started the second quarter. New York turned the ball over. In Chicago now has the ball. So, but yeah, that's the rundown in those games. Overall standings in the league. Based off of right now, I'm looking at CBS Sports. You have the Sparks at 15-7. The Wings at 15-8 at 12. The Sparks at 11 at 15-7. The Mystics at 16-7 at 10. The Dream at 7-14 at 9. The Fever at 8 at 9 and 14. The Sky at 9 and 12 at 7. The Mercury at 12 and 10. They come in at 6. The Storm are at 5 at 14 and 8. The Aces are at 4 at 14 and 7. The Lynx are at 3 at 16 and 6. The Sun are at 2 at 17 and 5. And the Liberty at 1 at 18 and 4. So that's the overall standing in the league right now. So pretty tight, in wherever you're looking at it, whether it's 1 through, if you want to say 1 through 4. The Aces are literally 3.5 behind the Liberty. So, if you want to throw in the Storm, they're 4 behind the Liberty. So there's still plenty of time, between 1 and 2, 1 game, between 2 and 3, 1 game. So, it's pretty close across the board. Even on the back end, with the Wings and the Sparks, they're half a game difference. And between 12 and 10, it's 1 game difference. So standings are pretty tight overall. So quick update. New York is up. Chicago's up 23-21 in the second quarter. But they have the ball and shooting a deep 3 and hits the deep 3. So now they go back up by 5. But that's the standings right now in the WNBA in terms of didn't change where we currently stand right now. So in terms of the overall WNBA positioning. So now in terms of the Rookie of the Year, do we really need to go into it? Aja Wilson is far and away leading the charge in the Rookie of the Year. I can sit and try and make an argument for others, but she's just on another level right now. She really is. The way that she's playing, she's been pretty consistent all year, dominating. No matter where she is. What can you say in terms of her overall play? She's a beast. She's also, which I don't think many people know, or some people know, she's going to be along with Tatum and Vince Carter. She's going to be on the 2K25 cover. So, and that's good for her to be included in there. So, and I'm happy to see that for her to be included on the cover there. So, but again, she's just dominating with her overall play, man. And like I said, I don't think it's even close. And, as long as she continues to play the way she's been playing, I don't see anyone passing her. She's leading the league in terms of scoring. She has 26.9, and she's second in rebounding at 11.3. She's 0.6 behind Angel Reese, who's leading the league at 11.9. So, when you think about that, she's number 1 in blocks at 2.7 per game. Steals per game, she's at 5 at 1.9. And let me see, what's her field goal percentage? In terms of field goal percentage, she's 9th in the league. So when you sit down and you break down those numbers, this tells you how dominant of a player she is right now. And I don't think anyone's going to be able to catch her. In terms of scoring, Kalia Copper is closest at 23 points. So she's almost 4, Wilson is almost 4 points ahead of her. In terms of blocks, Izzy Megalor is right there with her. She's 0.2 behind her. But, like I said, she's just on another level right now in terms of the way that she's playing. If you're into fantasy points, she's at 50.5, where Nafisa Collar is at 42.1. So she's even blowing that away too. So again, it's just, to me, hands down, she is it. For a while I was thinking about Arike from Dallas, but she's starting to settle in and calm down in terms of her overall play. So, but what's good, man? Cave, how you doing, man? Thanks for tapping in. I really appreciate you, man. let me know if you want to join in, man. I mean, I'm running solo today, so I can send you the link if you want to join. Right now, the Liberty are down against Chicago 28-21 and missed shot and rebound by Chicago going the other way. So, but okay, bro, I'll send you a link. Just gonna throw it in the chat. So, but again, Aja to me is just far and away just playing on another level, man. She's just that dominant. So, but there you go, man. Just there's a link. Just go ahead and bring it on. So, and Chicago scored. They're up 30, and New York just turned the ball over. So New York again. That's one of the biggest issues with New York, man. For as well as they can play, the biggest issue I see with them is their turnovers. I got you, man. Thank you, man. Katie, thanks for being here. Thanks for tapping in, bro. You, man.
What's good, bro? I've seen these Liberties trying to do that thing, man, trying to get that revenge. They lost to the Sky the last time, 90-81, man.
And they're down 12 right now. That's what I'm looking at.
Yeah, I just got in from work probably like half an hour ago. I was like, yeah. Hopefully they could come back though. I mean, it's only a 12-point lead. It ain't too bad.
They just hit a 3, so it's down to 9. But it's only in the second quarter, so they usually close out in the fourth quarter. Usually, it's the first and the fourth quarter is when they do play well. But Chicago is also very physical, so and its physical teams seem to give them some issues. So, but.
Yeah, I mean they usually lock down in the third. They usually lock down in the third quarter, though. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
They lock down in that third quarter, so that's when that score starts getting real close. And then the fourth quarter, they just go on from there. And I know the last time they played a Fever, I mean they came back and took the lead too and stuff like that. But then they ended up losing. I couldn't even
exactly.
I can't believe it.
Now I'm with you there. So, but I was just talking about the MVP right now. To me, it's Aja Wilson right now. I mean,
hands down.
Is there anyone who you think is even close?
Nope, not even close, bro. It's not even close. She's averaging like what 28 and like 12 or 13 rebounds or something like that.
I'll give it to you again. She's 26-9 in terms of points. Rebounds, she's 11.3. I had a block. She's at number 1 at 2.7. Steal, she's at 5th at 1.9. I think field goal percentage. I said she was at 9th in the league. Let me see, what was it? She's in terms of her field goal percentage, she's 52% overall in terms of her overall field goal percentage. So, she hands down. It's I can't see anybody coming close to her. I just can't.
And the only way something's gonna happen if she have some knock on wood, no season ending injury or something like that. That's the only way somebody could come back. But I mean, she's far and away right now. I mean, she cemented herself as the best player in the WNBA. I mean, that ain't even no question.
Exactly. So now I talked a little bit earlier about the Rookie of the Year race. In terms of I had the breakdown. Let me give it back to you. I have it. I'm looking at an ESPN listing where they have the top 7, going 7 up, just so you see where I'm at. It says Rukia Jackson at 7, Kate Martin at 6, Leonia Phoebus at 5, Camila Cardozo at 4, Aaliyah Edwards at 3, Caitlin Clark at 2, and Angel Reese at number 1. I also was tapped into a content creator, and she was given a full spectrum. Like she had her top 10, and she said when she broke down all the metrics, because she did like 30 different metrics from the league, and she said Cameron Brink was up there. And this is the whole league. This is not just rookies. This was the full league.
Right.
And she said Cameron was, in that top 3 consideration. But based on this listing right there, what do you think? I mean, if you need me to go back over it, let me know.
I know, man. I follow WNBA, so yeah. I mean, it's only between Angel Reese and Caitlin Clark right now.
Mm-hmm.
Started off slow, but now she's starting to get her bearings and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? She's becoming more well-rounded, you know what I'm saying, as far as, getting the teammates involved and stuff, not just looking for her own shots. You know what I'm saying? Trying to run a team. But if I had to give it, I'll have to give it to Angel Reese right now, man. That double, man. Man, when I be looking at her stuff, I know some people be like, oh, she be padding stats. I ain't really no padding stats because, it ain't like you're out there on the court by yourself. There's people standing right there. You getting rebounds. You getting 19 rebounds, 16 rebounds, 14, 13, whatever. I mean, that's a lot of rebounds, man. I mean, and what if Cardosa starts getting crazy? I mean, between them two, they could just hog all the rebounds. You know what I'm saying? Because Angel right now, man, she's just like a one-man wrecking crew right now, while Carmella is like rounding herself into shape and stuff like that. And but Angel she just took off, man. She took off from the beginning. I mean, she just like Asia Wilson as far as like the run. She's been consistent. I mean,
the thing that hurts her though is her shooting. Because that I think is what takes away from her, her overall game. If she can, and even just a mid range, I think she was at 27%, if I'm not mistaken. Let me see. Wait a minute. Let me go back.
Yeah, I think what did she made her first three like a game ago or something like that.
Yeah. So,
working on it, man. She's been working on that.
No, she's at 41.9. No, it's a 3-point shooting that she's in the 20s. She's 22% in the three. So, but she's 42% in overall. So, if she's consistent with her threes, it would definitely take her game up to another level. So my man Common is at the game. So, But yeah, now what about the thought of number 3 to ESPN of Aaliyah Edwards? That kind of did catch me off guard, because some people will say Rickea. I can understand Camila Cardoza. When you think about Aaliyah Edwards, but she's always in and out of the lineup. So I don't know. I mean, it's not like I watched Washington full bore, but I mean, do you consider her at number 3?
I mean, for right now, she would be at number 3 because Cameron Brinks is out. Because if Cameron Brinks is there, Cameron is definitely number 3. But I'll put Rickea Jackson above her, so I think Rickea Jackson should be number 4.
Okay, that's cool. I get you.
The Mystics right now, like I said, they got to they're not really a good team like that, but that's the price you pay when you like on the top draft picks and say you're gonna be on bad teams, you know what I'm saying? But these, I mean, I got to give it to them though. The Mystics, the Sky, the Fever. I mean, hey, they're getting their bearings right, man. I mean, they competing. You know what I'm saying? It's not like it's a pushover because I look at the games, I look at the score, I'm like, man, they only losing by 3 points. I mean, they'd be like 88, 85. You know what I'm saying? It's like ain't like it's 88 to 50. Like every game he's got. I mean, they got injuries. I mean, everybody's banged up and injured, but they still putting forth the effort, man. The games are great. Like I said, they're competitive, and this rookie class might be like I'm saying they're really lifting the league up in this because, I mean, what they're doing right now, you know what I'm saying? I mean, they came with a lot of fanfare, and hey, they have lived up to it, man. I can't say like what I'm saying I'm disappointed because when they playing, man, they producing. So, I mean, I'm liking this rookie class, and it's like, and then next year and the year after that, these classes going to get even better and stuff like that. I mean, the league is in great hands, man. Like I said, you look at and now you look at some of these rookies, and they ain't just like one rookie on the team. There's 2 rookies doing work on the team. Like I said, with Carmella and Angel Reese, they're going to be a problem. Then you got Aaliyah Boston and and Caitlin Clark. You know what I'm saying? Cameron Brink, Rickea Jackson. You know what I'm saying? And hey, don't forget what's the name? What's that? Minnesota. I mean, Diamond Miller. Because Diamond Miller's been out for a minute, and they've been playing great. You know what I'm saying? So
exactly,
he gets back. You know what I'm saying? They're gonna be even tougher. Seattle's been playing great. You know what I'm saying? Phoenix is looking like they, with Brittany Griner, and they're getting their stuff right. So I mean, it's good though. It's good and competitive. That's all. You know what I'm saying?
Welcome to HHA Exchange. Press 1 for call.
Yeah, man. So. Yeah, man.
Give me one second. But now here's one thing. I did see earlier, Juju Watkins actually is supporting, thinks that Angel Reese also is the early candidate for Rookie of the Year. And that's, Juju knows her game,
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
and for those of you who don't know, Juju Watkins, she was a freshman All-American at USC. She's probably going to be, when she comes out, if she continues to play, she's going to be the number 1 overall draft pick. Her game is just that nice. Trust me when I tell you, she is that nice. So, and I felt that was something impressive when she said that. So, but what's your thoughts about her, throwing her support behind Angel?
Oh yeah, I mean, but I mean these they ballers. They know what's what. You know what I'm saying? The opportunity that these girls are having on these teams. So I agree with Juju Watkins. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, Angel Reese to me is the WNBA Rookie of the Year right now. Unless Caitlin really goes off, but Caitlin, like I said, she's right there. So I mean, if either or wins, I can see it happening. And if the Fever have a better season towards the end, you know what I'm saying? Like, come on down and fighting for a playoff spot, I can see that happening. But if they just neck to neck and they both miss the playoff, and I got to go with Angel Reese if she keeps with the double double. You know what I'm saying? I got to keep going with her because, like I said, people can say what they want to say, but a double double ain't no joke, man. It's like, and if they take Angel Reese out that lineup, I mean, that's a big loss.
You know
what I'm saying?
What's up, Daniel? Thanks for tapping in. And just a quick update: New York has cut the deficit to 4 with a little over 4 minutes left. It's 37-33 right now. Chicago just took a timeout. So, but yeah, I mean, I agree with you, and I had said it earlier in terms of the Rookie of the Year. If you were to rate it on a scale of 1 to 10, I mean, their point differential is just that close. If you said it's 1 point between the two, even a half a point between the two, to me, you can't go wrong whoever you choose. Because you can make an argument for Caitlin, you can make an argument for Angel. So, so I mean. And that's the beauty of this debate, this Rookie of the Year debate. So, and again, I said it earlier, it just depends on who you feel, deserves to be that Rookie of the Year. So, but, it's exciting and I really appreciate it. So, but one thing I want to get over to real quick is the Olympics. We're getting ready for the Olympics because, again, I went over the schedule. By next Wednesday, you're going to be done. Then you're going to have the Olympics prelims. So I'm going to share. I'm going to just share with you guys. Hold a minute. So you guys see exactly what I'm talking about. Just let me know if you see this. Do you have it?
Yep.
Okay, so this is going to be this full schedule for the women's Olympic team. So on the 20th, Team USA versus the Team WNBA, part of the All-Star Weekend. So it'll be a tip-off 8:30 on ABC. But then 3 days later, they're going to take on Germany. So as far as another prelim, which is going to be cool, it's going to be a 3 o'clock tip-off on FS1. That to me is going to be an interesting one. And then you get into the Olympics. The first Olympic game and group stage will be against Japan. Then it's on July 29th and August 1st is Belgium. And then again, the 4th, you're going to go up against Germany. So, but that just starts the women's fight into the Olympics. So that's going to be interesting. I mean, right now, I like the fact that you're going to take on Germany in the prelims, and then you come back and you play them, a little bit later, a little bit over a week later. So no matter what, it really gets you ready, for the Olympics. So in Germany, usually, I know on the men's side, they have a good team. I think the women do have a pretty decent team also. So Japan, if I'm not mistaken, they have that 6'8" center who plays for. Does she play for the Sparks? I think she plays for the Sparks also. So, but Japan is tough. They've always been a tough team. I remember a few years ago that they were I forgot who they were playing that they gave them a tight go. So, I mean, what's your thoughts about the Olympics, the women's Olympics team? You're muted, bro. I can't hear you.
Yeah, the women's Olympic, like I said, the Team USA got a nice roster. But like I said, yeah, China or Japan, I'm you know what I'm saying? It's probably Japan. with the like you said from the Sparks. But yeah,
well, China, don't forget they have Hanju, who's a Liberty. She's over there, and actually in the women's CBA, she's tearing it up. So I know she's going to be a tough go. So, but I think they also when they played Japan, they really took it to Japan. Was this a couple months ago? I think it was a couple months ago. So,
yeah. But China in the past has always been like they've always had like competitive teams in the Olympics for the women's side. They always had some tall players too, like really like some 7'6" dudes. Like they had some twin towers on there. So yeah.
What's up? Thanks for tapping in, bro.
Thanks for tapping in, bro. So, like, check out his channel because he's a W. That's the dude. That's about he do WNBA too. You know what I'm saying? He's big Liberty Aces. Links, stuff like that. Thanks for tapping in, RC. But like China. Let me see what other teams could give. I don't know how. I know Puerto Rico on the men's side is they very good, but the women's side, like I said, sometimes be Australia, things like that. So gotta watch out for those for them too, because and a lot of them like the foreign teams, if they're not in the WNBA, they in college basketball, so they be playing in those the Olympics, off them college teams that like the top point guards and stuff like that. So yeah, like I said, Australia usually have a competitive. Like I said, this field's gonna be competitive, but I just see with this WNBA roster on there, I think that they just gonna eat and they just gonna. You know what I'm saying, but hey, like I said, there's gonna be some games where it's gonna be I mean, it ain't gonna be too close, but it's like there'll be a little competitive in first quarter, second quarter, that's about it. But after that, like I said, but it's usually China and Australia. Those are the two teams that usually like really be competing in the women's game. And then what's the name, like Brazil? You know what I'm saying? I don't know if she's gonna play in Brazil. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? She's gonna be playing for
Brazil. Right now, the game is tied at 38. And New York threw it away. Kayla threw it away on.
They back.
Yeah, no, they're back. I mean, like we said, I figured they would get back into the game. So, it's just, they started off sluggishly. So, but yeah, New York is always going to be tough. So, but yeah, that's the thing. I'm excited for the Olympics. I've always been an Olympics buff, and I definitely want to see what our ladies can do.
Where's it going to be at this? Because they be changing and stuff. Like, where's it going to be at?
What, the Olympics?
Yeah.
Oh, it's in Paris.
Paris, yeah. Because usually, like I said, it'd be different places. Seoul, South Korea, all these other places, stuff like that. But
it's in France, so that's going to be. And a foul. Sorry, looking at the foul.
French team, like I said, the home country usually sometimes, like I said, they sneak up on you too. So you got to watch out for the home country.
France. Exactly. So, but again, so yeah, that's pretty much what I had today in terms of today's show. I appreciate you, Man Cave, tapping in. So, it's just been pretty. Oh, this is what I want to talk about. For those of you, I touched on it a little bit in terms of the fantasy points. I know some people are interested into that. So again, Aja Wilson is number 1, but Breonna Stewart was number 2. Arike Ongwale is number 3. Sabrina Ionescu is 4. Caitlin Clark is 5. Jewel Lloyd is 6. Alyssa Thomas from Connecticut is 7. De'Erica Hamby of LA is 8, Nafisi Collier 9, and John Quill Jones is 10. So I just wanted to touch on that real quick. So, that's if in terms of fantasy points. I mean, I'm not big on fantasy points, but I know some people are. So, and I found it very interesting. So, I mean, are you into fantasy points?
No, I'm not into fantasy points, but I will say this though. I mean, it's come to the point where player safety are involved now. So they had to step up some security on that. And they even thinking about taking away some fantasy from college players or something like that. You know what I'm saying? Because, I mean, there's real people out there. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
because these athletes about not getting it.
Mm-hmm.
You didn't get that 20 points. I need that, them assists. I need them.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. Case in point, Mr. Porter up in Canada. So I get you. So,
Right.
but yeah, no, I mean that's pretty. And just for an update right now, New York is down at the half, 40-38. So it's at the half. So hopefully the Liberty will round out in the second half and really amp it up because they need this game, and they can't have a big game like they had against Connecticut and then turn around and lose this. I mean, same thing with they did the same thing with Minnesota, then lose to the Fever. You can't do this. So so hopefully they'll get their act together and get this one in the bag. So
Yeah, who's out today? Who's out? Is this Benita Laney?
Benigja Laney is out, yeah. So, but you have um Sabali back, so she's already played a little bit. So,
Oh,
you know,
okay, cool.
so you needed that size. That we've been struggling with the size, so that's a good thing. So,
Mm-hmm.
but again, like I said, that's pretty much it for today. Again, like I said, my two normal co-hosts, that's life. They have things that they had to do, so I said I'll run solo. I mean, want to be here to give everybody, a great show. So, I appreciate my man Cave being here. Just let everybody know where they can find you, brother. If they want to tap into you.
Yes, sir, man. So, like, share, and subscribe. Like from this channel right here, Coach Ed Gladney's Amazing World of Sports. You can also catch me at the Man Cave podcast, on the YouTube channel. And also you can catch me on Twitter at the Man Cave _S God. And like I said, I'm thinking like I was supposed to do a show today, but just ran out a little bit of time. But I think I'm gonna come back on Saturday, probably about 6 or 7 like that, and just do some NBA stuff and things like that, just give a little updates on some like signings, finalize trades and stuff like that, and also the rookie extension type thing, and also the NBA's on that big big TV deal, what I'm saying. Talk a little bit about that too. So I'll be, like I said, I should be on Saturday about most likely about 6 to 7, somewhere around there. So you'll see it when I put the queue up and stuff like that. So I'll be back on here Saturday and stuff like that, man. But I'll also be on Friday night. I'll be tapping in with you guys. If you do the Black Top podcast with my brother NYG Unpopular Opinion, and and also the other parts of the Big Blue Crew. You can catch them too on Saturday nights. Leather to the Face. Sports. Wales. Big Pat Sports Talk, man. Go subscribe to all those guys' channel. Subscribe to everybody in the Big Blue Crew, man, because, we coming. We bringing it, bro.
All right. So, and again, like me, I'm Coach Ed Gladney. Coach Ed Gladney's Amazing World of Sports. You can catch me right here. On Twitter, you can actually catch me on Skies Papa 72, SKYS POPPA 72. On Instagram, you can catch me at Don't Sweat the Technique, just like Rakim said. Don't sweat the technique. So and I'll be consistently out here pretty much almost every day. Tomorrow, like you said, I'm bringing out another episode of the Reading Attack Sports Show live, jumping in on the Blacktop. Also Saturday, another episode of the Halftime Coaching Adjustment Show. Monday, Wednesday, also will always be another Reading Attack Reading Attack Sports Show live. And Tuesday nights, Heart of the City with my brother NYG 22, and also with the Pick and Roll podcast right here on the Hardcore Sports Network, and also right here with the the Full Court Press podcast. With me, Next Shift Randy, and Nick from Sleep Media. So we'll always be around. I'll always be around. So to RRC. She Got Game, thanks for being here. Daniel Tudo, thanks for tapping in, brother. Really appreciate you. Of course, you Man Cave, Araku, Two Giant Goofballs, thanks for being here. Tony, thanks for also being in here. And to everyone else that's there in the chat, just watching, I really appreciate you guys. Thank you for being here. I wouldn't be able to do this without you guys. So you guys are phenomenal. So look forward to bringing another episode next week, next Thursday, of the Full Court Press podcast. So with that being said, we're out of here. And like I always say in sports, make sure you turn it on and turn it off. So we out of here. Peace.